Hello, friends. Today we're going to be talking about emotions in disguise. Hi, friends. This is Bethany Jennings, and you're listening to We Should Talk. It's a podcast where we talk about anything and everything to encourage, equip, and empower you to be a decent human. Let's talk. Hi guys, so as previously mentioned, we're going to be talking about emotions in disguise today. I know this is the Quality Conversations themed season of this podcast, but I feel like this is a necessary conversation right now, especially around the holidays, just coming out of a big family holiday and going into a big family holiday, and a time of the year where if you are accustomed to being with family and you've lost someone, or you're accustomed to being with family and there has been some sort of family trauma or drama, you could experience this. This is a piece of a much bigger conversation. I don't know that we'll have time for all of it today. I recorded this, what you're about to listen to, I recorded this back in September. I was just driving in my car, probably to the ranch, the family ranch, from my house, which is like a daily journey for me. And I just whipped up my phone and started recording what I was thinking about. So here's what we'll do. Let's listen to the clip, and then we will talk about it again once the clip is done. So let's listen. Sometimes anger is masking a completely different emotion. Sometimes it is deceptive, right? We assign anger as the emotion because that's what we're seeing is angry outbursts or things like that. But if you look deeper, there's usually a root emotion or a partner with that anger. Most commonly, anger is just grief in a muscle shirt. And it is there to protect you or the person feeling the anger and the emotion. Anger shows up because it wants to protect to protect the person from whatever they're actually grieving or whatever they're sad about. For example, if you have just moved, your family has just moved locations, even if it's the same town, just a different house, or if it's a big move, like you've moved some states over, or you've changed towns or counties, and so your kids have to change schools, and there's just a lot going on. You may notice that your kids are having angry outbursts. And it may not be that they're so mad at you for making them move, because they're going to have good memories with the new place too. But they're not so much angry that you're making them have new memories as much as they are sad that they're losing some of the old memories, or at least the spots where the memories were happening. So maybe they're grieving a loss of part of their childhood and they don't even fully realize it. Or maybe, you are in the middle of a breakup, or heaven forbid, a divorce from an affair or some kind of betrayal, and you're angry. You're so angry, and you just want to punch things, and you just want to be violent, right? But are you really angry? Or is anger showing up to protect you from the grief you're feeling? Because you're grieving a part of your life no longer being what it was. You're grieving the end of an era. The same thing can be said when life transitions, not just from childhood to teenhood to adulthood, but all the way throughout. Even in adulthood, there are transitions in life from, newlyweds to new parents to empty nesters. There's always transitions in life. And whether we realize it or not, a lot of times we grieve the loss of that former phase. And so anger shows up. And we lash out at people. And maybe we're very short, with our husband. Or we pop off to the kids. Or we don't want to be with our best friend because we think they're just getting on our nerves right now. Or maybe we're just really irritable because we're acting angry because we're grieving a loss to the phase that we were just in. There's also the possibility that some wrong has been done to you or to someone that you love, or you've suffered some kind of assault or some kind of abuse or something like that, and you grieve your loss of safety, or you grieve the loss of a child's innocence, or you grieve the loss of joy. Anger can come with a lot of things. Sometimes anger partners with jealousy, but most of the time, from what I've seen, from my experience, anger is just there to help you feel safe while you grieve. And I think once we recognize that, we can focus that anger we're feeling where it's supposed to go and let ourselves grieve. And it's okay to grieve in anger, but we need to allow ourselves to do that with the understanding that that's what's happening. That's what's happening. It's not that we want to hurt people, or we want to lash out at our loved ones, or we want to isolate ourselves and all of those things. That may not be what's happening. It may be that you need time to grieve, and so anger's showing up. So, that's my thought as I am driving down the road. I just wanted to record this while it was in my brain. Sometimes anger is just grief in a muscle shirt. So there you have it. Sometimes grief is just sadness in a muscle shirt. And it's not always a very obvious violent anger. Sometimes it is. But it's not always that way. And as we go into this season where we're around a lot of family, or we are accustomed to being around a lot of family and we've lost someone in our family, be it to death, divorce, drama, and that can include a circle of friends as well. We have to remember to take a second, assess ourselves, and see if you are lashing out because you are angry, truly angry, or you're lashing out because you're sad about something, that you've lost something. Or could it be that the person that is lashing out towards you is actually sad about something? We experience we can experience a lot of territorialism around holidays, like, well, your family versus my family kind of thing. And it's not always the husband and wife that do it. A lot of times it's the in-laws that do it. Like, well, you can't go to your mother's on Christmas Day. You have to come to our house. So we got to keep it even, and we got to. And we lose the entire spirit of the holiday trying to, quote unquote, keep it even. And I'm not saying boot anybody out. I'm not saying that at all, obviously. But there is something to be said for stepping back, looking at the situation and saying, okay, is my mom acting out right now because she feels threatened? That she feels like her territory is being encroached upon? Is my uncle or my aunt lashing out at everyone because they are hurt about something? Like, I'm not excusing poor choices or poor behavior, but I'm saying when you're in it, you may not see it. If they're in it, they may not see it. Now, I am not suggesting you go to them and say, listen, I hear you lashing out at everyone, and I think it's because you're hurt about your friend Susie May skipping out on your luncheon 2 weeks ago. No, I'm not suggesting you do that because they're probably not in a place to hear it, especially if it's in front of everybody. But what I would suggest doing, as Proverbs suggests doing, is just offer a soft answer. Don't add fuel to the flame. Just answer them softly when they're ugly to you and see what happens. Here's the thing. They may soften up from your soft answer, or they may just go away because you're not giving them the reaction that they need. I'm not saying you have to keep going around a person who's going to lash out, especially if they're lashing out at your kids or your spouse. Absolutely not. That sends a message to your spouse and your children that person that is lashing out and being ugly is more important to you than your spouse and children are. Do not do that to your kids. Do not do that to your spouse. But demonstrate for your spouse and your kids, demonstrate for those around you how to handle someone who is lashing out, probably out of anger, which is actually a root or a cover for a deeper root. This leads to a different, not necessarily different, but a bigger conversation about what I call masked emotions. I don't know that that's a technical term, but that's really what this is. Sometimes anger is a mask for a different emotion. There's something called an emotion wheel, and it can be a very useful tool. There's a couple of different ones. I don't know if there's like an official one for the psych journal thing. I don't know that there is an official one, but this can help you actually locate what you're feeling, right? Because a lot of times we have a difficulty assigning names to our feelings, especially those people who are not very, very in touch with their emotions. Usually people from a different generation are not very, very in touch with their feelings because they were always taught, doesn't matter what you feel, move on. And you guys know me. I stand by it. Feelings are real, but they're not reality. You may feel betrayed, doesn't mean you actually were betrayed. You may feel hurt, doesn't mean they actually meant to hurt you. So so basically an emotions wheel, there's like core emotions in the middle, and then it kind of rays out to different emotions. For example, and you could probably use this with your kids. You could use this with you, your spouse, basically anybody. For example, feeling disgust. Oh, they just disgust me. We've heard that before. They disgust me. Okay, but why are you feeling disgust? Is it that you resent them for something? Is it that you're ashamed of something they've done? Is it that you're bitter towards them? Have they disappointed you? Have they acted adversely towards you? What about happy? Oh, they make me feel so happy. Cool. Why do they make you feel happy? If you want to feel that feeling more, let's figure out what it is that's actually making you feel that happiness. Do they make you feel very confident? Do they make you feel grateful? Do they create peace? And so you are drawn to that and it makes you happy? Do they like to have fun? Is that what makes you happy? What about sadness? It's like, I just feel sad. I don't know why, but I just feel sad. A lot of times we experience that in the holidays. It's just, especially if you're a melancholy person like me, it's like, I just feel sad and I don't know why. Do you feel hurt? Has someone hurt you? Is there a past hurt that you've not really addressed? You just kind of buried? Are you feeling lonely? Do you feel guilty about something? Do you feel guilt? Not that like you wouldn't commit a crime, but like, do you feel guilty that you're not slowing down to be with your kids? Do you feel guilty that you've not gone to be with all these other parties that you've been invited to? Some of this guilt is going to come no matter what, but some of this is guilt that we don't need to take on. Like if you're feeling guilty because you were a jerk to your spouse, you should feel guilty. But if you're feeling guilty because you can't make it to every party you were invited to, you don't have to feel guilty for that. Don't take on more than you need to bear. Or do you feel inadequate about something? Like, I can't keep up with so-and-so, and I can't, or I feel like I'm not enough for my spouse, or I'm not enough for the people that depend on me at my job, or I'm not, you could feel inadequate, or maybe you just feel uninterested in what's going on, and so you feel kind of bored. And that's kind of making you feel sad, like, I'm just so bored, nothing's engaging, nothing's challenging me, nothing's... So you assign sadness to that emotion, which actually can be broken down. Anger, again, even though it is a mask for sadness sometimes when we're angry, it's because we feel threatened, or we've been offended, or we're very frustrated at something, or we're just simply annoyed at someone. That is when it's not masking sadness, which, and then why are you sad? Because you're hurt, guilty, that kind of stuff. Inadequate. What about fear? Like, you have an overwhelming sense of fear or anxiety when it's time to go somewhere, when it's time to interact with someone, or when it's time to do something specific. Why is it that you feel that? Is it because you say, I'm scared to go over there, I'm scared to talk to somebody, or I'm scared to do this, or I'm scared to do that? Why? Do you feel, if they embarrassed you? Have you been embarrassed in a situation like that? Does it make you feel vulnerable to go into a certain setting? Did you experience rejection in that family setting? Are you insecure with yourself and your relationships, or where you are in life, and you don't want people talking to you about it? Are you worried about something? Just something to think about. A lot of times we'll say, well, I just have such a fear of... Okay, but why? Why are you afraid? These a feelings wheel will help you, and you can get them everywhere. I'm not saying all of them are exactly 100% accurate. I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of options out there just to kind of help guide you assigning why you're feeling what you're feeling. Or, on a positive one, I love being around so-and-so. I love it when we do this. I love it when the church service is this way, or I love it when the party goes like this, or I love it when I'm spending time with my kids. What is it that is making you feel that love? Do you feel accepted? Do you feel like, no, it doesn't matter what you are, contributing to this. We accept you for who you are, kind of thing. We know you're working on you. Is that person gentle with you? They're not abrasive and aggressive and ugly. Is that person trusting you with something? Are they respecting you and respecting your effort? Is that why you feel love from that person, that setting? So anyways, while emotions can be masks for other things, for other emotions, like anger can be a mask for sadness, yes. They can also be a very blanket, general emotion that we assign to some very specific feelings. So I encourage you, look into a feelings wheel, is what it's called sometimes. And it will kind of help you assign that, especially with your kids. Like, why is my kid always scared to go around so-and-so? Why is my kid sad right now? Why is my teenager acting disgusted? Why does my husband act disgusted around his family or my family? Or why is that aunt or uncle always angry at family gatherings? Or why, that kind of stuff. Why is it that my grandparents just absolutely love it when the family's together, even though it's crazy in their house? It just kind of helps you answer that question, why. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, especially since there may not be an official one for, an official psychology one. But anyways, Wheel of Feelings, look into it. And just take a second in your response. James, the book of James in the Bible says, be slow to speak, right? Slow to anger, but be quick to listen. The person may be saying one thing, but they're really telling you another. So just don't respond in anger quickly. Just take a second, evaluate what's going on, Give them a soft answer, as Proverbs says, and roll on with your life. Anyways, this was not a quality conversation with someone on this podcast, but I'm hoping this helps you have quality conversations with those around you. So, I will see you next time. Well, that was fun. I'm glad you stuck around for the whole thing. And thank you for talking to me today. Y'all go like and follow and review and do all the podcast things that people do. And don't forget to be a good human.